Are your worship rehearsals boring? Is people not coming? Are they even interested in knowing what's going to happen in the rehearsal? I'm going to give you some tips where we can change that in this video. What's going on, everybody? It's Michael here, and this is Moments with Mike, where I'm going to be giving tips, tricks, and insight and a little bit of wisdom on worship leading, singing, songwriting, and anything else that I can think of. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing. If you love the content that you're getting from this channel, go ahead and hit the like button. Today, I want to give you 3 tips that you can use right now to enhance your worship team rehearsals. Let's jump into it. We all know that rehearsals plays a vital role in a worship team and a worship ministry altogether. Rehearsals is where we can come together, we can build togetherness, camaraderie, we can work on our musicality, we can work on the lyrics, and we can just have an overall great time to build our music ministry. So I'm gonna give you these 3 tips, and I know that they're gonna enhance your worship team rehearsal. Let's go. Tip number 1. Tip number 1 is to be intentional. Be intentional. You never want to come into a rehearsal without a plan. Always have a plan. Never go into the rehearsal haphazardly. Never go in saying, hey, we're just going to come up with something today, or hey, we'll figure it out when we get there. If you do that, the productivity of the rehearsal is going to go down. You want to make sure that your rehearsals are so productive that when your team leaves, that they take things with them or they have learned something from your rehearsals. So this is what I do. Before a rehearsal, I come up with a little plan. Maybe this rehearsal, I want to dive into vocals and really dive in on our singing, our vocal techniques. Or maybe I want to go into this rehearsal saying, I want my team to know more about worship. I think I should do a little bit more teaching or have some form of teaching for my rehearsal. So what I do is I come up with this plan. Maybe I get scriptures together. Maybe I go online and find some vocal techniques that I want to go into. Or maybe I just say, hey, we're going to dive into this specific song. So I make sure I send the song out beforehand to the musicians and everything like that, so that when we get there, we can dive into this specific song, this specific teaching, or these vocal techniques. When I have a plan and when I implement that plan, when we leave the rehearsal, my team members are more, they're grateful because they felt like they learned something or they accomplished something. And I'm definitely grateful because I feel like what? We learned something and we accomplished something. So I'm going to tell you, always, always, always have a plan and be intentional about your rehearsals. Tip number 2, make sure that your rehearsals are interesting. No one wants to come and hear you lecture. No one wants to come and do the same mundane thing every rehearsal. We're already doing that in our everyday lives. In our jobs, we do the same thing over and over. And you don't want people to come into your rehearsal with that mindset of, oh, it's just another rehearsal. Let's just hurry up and get through it. You want them to come exciting, saying, hey, we never know what's going to happen. We never know how this rehearsal is going to turn out, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. Here's some wisdom on that. Maybe you spice it up some. Maybe you bring in a guest worship leader. Maybe you bring in a vocal coach or something like that. Or maybe you even bring in your pastor or the ministers of your church to have them to minister to your worship team. But spice it up some. Make it interesting so that your team wants to come, so they have the desire to come and be a part of the rehearsal. And our final tip, number 3, make sure that the environment, that you create a safe environment. You know, many of us outside of ministry, outside of church, we don't have a safe place that we can come to and feel safe and just feel like we can be ourselves and be comfortable. So make sure your rehearsals are a safe place. You want to create a family atmosphere. You want to make sure that this atmosphere is so family oriented that we get close. We want the team members to get close. Make it interesting, make it safe, and make it fun. Now, those are my 3 tips for enhancing your worship team rehearsal, and I know that they're going to take your rehearsals to the next level. This is Moments with Mike. I hope it blessed you. I'll see you guys next time.